Talk Radio 702, it is 12 minutes now before 5. Let's talk now to Rob Baker. Now, Rob Baker is the co-owner of SA Travel Online. They conducted this survey that I spoke about a little earlier on. Rob, good to have you on the radio. Good afternoon.
Hi, Kolani.
Much appreciated. Listen, just talk to me a little bit about this survey. What were the questions?
Kolani, what we did was that we want basically just to give you a bit of background.
Yeah.
There was an Indian airline, Go Air, which was saying that in order to reduce weight costs in their aircraft, they were going to hire only slim females as their cabin crew. And then Samoa Airlines, they decided last year they became the first airline in the world to start charging airfares based on weight. So we wanted to see what South Africans thought about charging airfares based on weight. So we carried out the survey. Now the overall result that we got was that 61% of South Africans are against it.
Okay.
There were strong opinions on both sides. But that still left a sizable minority of 39% who are completely fine with it.
That's interesting, because this 39%, if you were to have your own airline, this 39% is quite a sizable market.
Yeah, absolutely. For any airline who's gutsy enough to do this, look, they'd be in for quite a space of criticism and possibly court action, judging by some of the responses that we saw. But there would be quite enough people there for somebody to start their airline.
I must be honest, Rob, I'm part of the 61% that say it doesn't sound right. But how do the 39% justify this? What do they say?
Okay, well, the biggest argument, of course, is that the cost when an airline is flying is directly dependent upon the weight that it's carrying. So for every extra kilogram that you're carrying on the airline, you're going to have to pay more. This is why, for instance, you see in Comair's financial reports how much emphasis they put on reducing fuel costs, which is basically synonymous with reducing weight. There were other arguments as well that it would improve the health of the population, and it's a good incentive. Now, another argument is basically if you look at the population at the moment, broadly speaking, children and females weigh less than adult men.
Yeah.
So with a level airfare, what's happening is that children and females are effectively paying for us hefty men for our extra fuel costs.
But what's also interesting is that there's a difference in the ages of people that approve. Most South Africans over 60 approve of this.
Yes, I was quite surprised to see that. So those most against it were aged from 30 to 50 years old. And then there was a majority over 60 who were fine with it. And then as people got older, they became more fine with it, in fact. So over the age of 70, 58% of people were fine with basing airfares on passenger weight. We didn't survey those younger than 20 who would be the major beneficiaries of something like this. So I'm not sure what they are. I'm pretty sure their answers would also be that they would be fine with it, and then 30 to 50-year-olds were the most against it.
Just a final question. I'm not sure if you'll have the answer for this, but how is it going with Samoa Airlines? Are they having passengers?
Yeah, we don't hear a lot about Samoa Airlines, but I haven't heard any negative news either that they're not that there's been a huge resistance to it. They're a very small airline.
Okay. Right. Rob, I really thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Rob Baker is the co-owner of SA Travel Online. It's 8 minutes before 5.
Call Kolani now on 011 883 0702.
Valerio in Johannesburg, what have you got for me? Hello.
How's it? I'm a hefty guy, and I'd be happy to pay, but I'd want a bigger seat. You know, your guy, one of the previous callers mentioned that the courier companies charge extra for bigger parcels, which I understand. You can call me a bigger parcel, but they don't squeeze that bigger parcel into a smaller box.
That's going to be a little bit of a problem. Just think about the configuration of a plane. All the seats are the same size.
I understand that, but I'm saying I'm happy to pay, but then I want more space.
Interesting. That's a very interesting point. Valerio in Johannesburg, thanks indeed for calling me. Let's go to Elaine in Northcliffe. Hello, Elaine.
Hello there.
Hi.
What about the airlines charging a particular rate, giving a particular weight per ticket? So small people can take more luggage because they've got the space, and larger people have to take less luggage because they're only allocated a certain weight.
Good idea. Good idea. Because I suppose the limit is about, what, 20 kgs or 23, somewhere. So I suppose if you're smaller, you'd get more in terms of that latitude. And if you're bigger, no, good idea. Very good idea there, Elaine.
Okay.
Northcliffe. Thank you very much. Interesting calls indeed. Let's go to Ian in Pretoria. Hello, Ian.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Welcome.
Yes. Okay. Just one quick comment, but I think the previous caller pretty much covered it all. I mean, if you're going to be a person who happens to eat a lot, you're nice and big and fat, then you should be prepared to take what comes with it. And the previous callers, I think, have already mentioned quite clearly about the relationship between weight and fuel consumption, weight and flight efficiency, and all that kind of thing.
You know what?
Weight in the air,
I hear that.
In the air is currency. It's like real estate. The heavier the plane is, the more fuel it will burn, and all such other things. But the bottom line was, I think that I got this call simply because I had sent you a text message saying you are what you eat.
Yeah, indeed. Indeed, but here's
what comes with it.
Sure. Here's what I want to know from you, Ian. Though, at what point, or how are you going to distinguish that this guy is big because of what he eats, and this guy is big because of biological problems, because of thyroid problems, for instance? Or are you going to punish right across the board?
You don't. If you're going to go by weight, a 300 kilogram super obese person who is 300 kilograms because he's eaten a lot, as compared to a 300 kilogram person because he's got thyroid disease, both are 300 kilograms. That's it.
Yeah, okay, Ian in Pretoria, thank you. Thanks indeed. Let's hear now from who is next. Lizzle in Johannesburg. Lizzle?
I'm speaking on behalf of maybe the smaller bodied people.
Yeah.
Have you ever travelled overseas sitting next to somebody who encroaches?
I was going to mention that.
Yes, because they are too big, and I'm sorry, no one's thinking of us, and we have to put up with it, paying the same amount of money and having less space and being completely uncomfortable. And I find that if you want to be discriminatory, I feel I'm being discriminated against because I've got no say in having what I've paid for taken over.
No, it's a good point. I was going to mention that sitting next to a big man is not comfortable. 2-hour flight, Johannesburg to Cape Town. Lizzle in Johannesburg, thank you very much. 4 minutes. Talk Radio 702, it is 12 minutes now before 5. Let's talk now to Rob Baker. Now, Rob Baker is the co-owner of SA Travel Online. They conducted this survey that I spoke about a little earlier on. Rob, good to have you on the radio. Good afternoon.
Hi, Kolani.
Much appreciated. Listen, just talk to me a little bit about this survey. What were the questions?
Kolani, what we did was that we want, basically, just to give you a bit of background.